So apparently, the word on the streets that Chelsea are a boring team, and that we play with five at the back. It's a defensive structure. When you consider the double pivot, that's seven defensive players that we're playing with. Whew, it's time to educate some of these people.
All right. Here we go, back again on the other side of the coin.
All right, we are back again, ladies and gentlemen, on the other side of the coin. And I just thought I have to do this video and I have to educate the rival fans out there. You Chelsea fans, most of you, majority of you guys probably know this, that we are no way a defensive team or defensive style of team. We are very good in terms of defending, but that doesn't mean we are a defensive team. But there are a lot of pundits out there, some managers as well, claiming that we play a defensive style. I just want to start this particular show with the clip, and then I want to showcase some tweets, and then we'll go to the formation builder, where we will demonstrate why we are actually not a defensive team, and in fact, we are we're quite an attacking team. You can talk about the personnels, but we are a very attacking team. Let's start off with this particular clip, which is from a particular YouTuber that I have a lot of time and respect for. But I'm not having a go at this particular person, but I think what he's saying over here is not well said, I suppose. Let's have a look at this.
All those forwards say, now play seven at the back, because that's what they do, right? Seven at the back and just play on the counter attack.
Start from the front, sorry.
I don't think Abramovich would have done that. Like looking at his spending, look at the way he's backed, and he's backed him in the sort of forward area. Here's Werner, here's Lukaku, here's Ziyech, here's Havertz.
I think that's what as well, wasn't it?
How does he? Yeah, but how does he, after giving them all those forwards, say now play seven at the back, because that's what they do, right? Seven at the back and just play on the counter attack. And I don't.
There we go. You've heard there from Grizz that we play seven at the back with defensive football. All the investment that Roman Abramovich has made, and we're still playing with seven. That's not what he envisaged. That's not what he wanted. I want to bring up a couple of the tweets. And just before we go to the tweets, the whole thing about Abramovich bringing in Werner, Kai Havertz, Ziyech, Pulisic, all of those players, I suppose. Frank Lampard wasn't playing five at the back. Frank Lampard was playing four at the back. And, at the end of the day, his defensive structure was really poor. Ended up getting sacked with all the situations that we saw earlier this year. Started from last year around December, and then obviously it ended in January. Thomas Tuchel has come in. These players that Thomas Tuchel's only got in Lukaku, to be honest, and Saul was on loan. So every other player was under Frank Lampard's era. Thomas Tuchel is naturally a four-at-the-back manager. If you look at his, history in Dortmund, in Mainz before Dortmund, and also in PSG, is predominantly a four-at-the-back manager. However, he came into Chelsea and he pretty much summed it up that the characteristics of our team suited far more for a three-at-the-back. And he's mentioned this many a times. The players have mentioned this. Rudiger is far better at a three at the back. Jorginho, yes, he plays for Italy in four. For Sarri, he's played in a four at the back. But in this particular setup with the personnels we have, he's better with a three at the back, because we don't have those right personnel to change it to a four. This is on my personal take on it. I don't think we have the right CBs to play four at the back. So Thomas Tuchel has mentioned this. So the reason why I'm saying this particular thing is because these players are not Thomas Tuchel players. And as Thomas Tuchel stays on for longer and longer, maybe he'll start thinking about four at the back with the right sort of defenders, midfielders, and so on and so forth. He'll probably play his natural way. But at the same time, three at the back, what Thomas Tuchel's doing is not a negative way of football at all. So this could possibly become Thomas Tuchel's style now. Do you know what I mean? Like, he may have found that this is the way that kind of works for him. So it's not a negative take at all that maybe one day he might want to switch to a 4, but he doesn't even have to be honest, if he wants to just continue this way, because it's been working. It's been successful at Chelsea. We've just won the Champions League and we are on top of the Premier League table. I just want to show you guys some of these tweets from Noman. As I said, Mauricio Pochettino was also someone recently saying that Chelsea plays a defensive style. So this is some of the tweets that Chelsea fan base have put out. PSG and Chelsea so far this season, in all competition, chances created by Chelsea 194, chances created by PSG 158. Mind you, PSG with Neymar, Mbappe, Lionel Messi, like it's a balling attacking team. Hakimi, so on and so forth. We've created 194 chances, whereas PSG 158. We play in a far difficult league than PSG. Goals scored by Chelsea, 35. Goals scored by PSG, 36. They've only scored one more goal more than us with all their attacking prowess that they have. That just tells you straight away it's not about having millions of attacking players. It's about having a style, a philosophy in how you want to attack the opposition. It's not just about throwing attacking players out there. Goals conceded by CFC, 8. Goals conceded by PSG, 19. But Pochettino will tell you that Chelsea is a defensive team. And that's the most important part right at the end, where goals conceded by Chelsea, 8. Goals conceded by PSG, 19. Thomas Tuchel has found a balance in this particular system where he's able to produce chances and he's able to maintain defensive solidity. This is why where we are in the league, this is why we are doing well in the Champions League as well. He's found a way with the personnel that we have at the moment at Chelsea to get the best out of both worlds. The only issue is at times it doesn't look good for us because some of our attacking players don't put the chances away. That's the only issue. But that once that clicks, I'm telling you, it will be a mind-blowing situation where the defense doesn't leak goals and the attack just balls out. And this is what we've got Lukaku as well. So yeah, things will change. And even if it's not Lukaku, the front three, whoever it is, will start putting those goals away very soon. Frank Khalid basically putting out what Pochettino was saying. Chelsea are a defensive team. Ex-Spurs manager Mauricio Pochettino gives opinion on Thomas Tuchel's side. Says PSG are different. What's your thoughts on what he said? Look, let's go straight into the board now. Let's debunk some of these defensive football that we play, and let's educate some of our rivals, not just the pundits, rival fans, rival managers, so on and so forth. I've just taken the setup from Leicester. This is the setup that we had against Leicester, the starting lineup, and it could well be anyone. It doesn't really even matter. Thomas Tuchel straight away said, our wingbacks are not defenders per se. They are midfielders. That's exactly how they operate. But before we even get to that, let's start from the back, the three at the back. So many times we have seen, and I'll show you the situation, so many times we have seen this situation where Rudy, Silva, Chalobah, or whoever else at the back is, it's like this because most of the oppositions that we play generally like to sit deep, and when they do attack, they find it very difficult to go toe-to-toe with us, except for the likes of Man City and Liverpool, I suppose. Barely any other teams can keep up that momentum with us. With the three at the back, there are many times you would have noticed Rudiger making that darting run into the box like that. Chalobah against Leicester making those darting runs into the box like that. Chalobah shooting from here as well. Rudy shooting from distance. Rudy scoring in set pieces, which is a different matter, I suppose. So this is one thing. Our three at the back, these two CBs, LCB and RCB, they bomb up when they have an opportunity. They create that overload. A lot of people miss that. Sometimes we'll create an overload on the right side, and then it quickly becomes a four at the back. Essentially, it becomes like that where RJ pushes up and goes to the byline. So to say that we play with the three at the back, it's not the case. The formation is constantly and consistently changing during a match. Many a times you'll see a situation like this, an overload on the right side, sometimes an overload on the left side. So these things are always changing. So that's the defenders, right? Now let's talk about the wing backs. Many a times we've seen Chilwell over here. We've even seen Reece James over here. The bottom line is we want to get into a situation where it's 5 attackers and 5 defenders. Basically, that's what we want to get to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attackers up front, including the wing backs. And then we want to have 5 sort of in midfield area. Three holding the defense, and then 2 just in front of them. And many times, Kante is also much higher up. Sometimes it's like this. So this helps us to have a great attacking sense. As you can see, the cluster that I've made over here. Just bring in Callum a little bit closer. As you can see, the cluster I've made over here, this gives us the opportunity to attack the opposition box heavily. And at the same time, you have to have the balance. This is why we don't concede. We have been scoring goals, and I'm going to go to the Premier League table very soon. We've been scoring quite a lot of goals. We've seen it. And the reason being is we cluster the opposition box like this. And then in transition, the opposition, when they want to counter us, it's very difficult to break us because we do have the 3 at the back, plus with Jorginho making it 4. So in counters, we are never outnumbered. And this is another big reason why we've been solid. And you have to have the balance. Liverpool don't have the balance all the time. They ball out, but they against quality opposition. And hell, it doesn't even need to be quality oppositions at times. It just needs to be good opposition that are smart and they can catch Liverpool out. Brighton caught Liverpool out a couple of weeks ago. West Ham caught Liverpool out a couple of weeks, just before the international break. We've done it as well previously. It's funny how some of these fans from other oppositions, they think we play a defensive football when clearly we don't. We just have a great balance. And this 5 at the back situation allows us to be so flexible. The only thing I would say is when we come across genuine low block teams, you can perhaps talk about is a personnel like, you can keep the 3, but say, for example, in the double pivot, do we need both Kante and Jorginho in a low block? Maybe you can use, instead of a Kante, someone like Ruben Loftus-Cheek, for example, because Kante in a low block will find himself very much close to the box. So that's the only thing you can say, the personnel. But in terms of the style, the structure, the philosophy, Thomas Tuchel's got it down packed. Honestly, he has. And I find it very strange that the opposition think that we're a defensive team. Now, let's get into the Premier League table. You can clearly see 30 goals we have scored, 4 conceded out of 12 matches, ladies and gentlemen. We have scored 5 more than Manchester City, who are deemed to be the most attacking team, or one of the most attacking team in Europe, let alone Premier League. Liverpool's only scored 5 more than us, but they've conceded a further 7. So clearly there's no balance there. Look at our balance. 30 goals, 4 conceded. Liverpool only 5 more goals. They've scored more than us, but they've conceded 7 more. So if you want to win leagues, you've got to have a mean defense. And at this point, we are looking like the meanest defense out there, racking up clean sheets after clean sheets after clean sheets. And people get upset about Chilwell and Reece James scoring for us and their defenders. No, they're not defenders. They're genuine midfielders. They bomb up and they get into the box. Chilwell was at times a false 9 against Leicester. Reece James as well. So many times he finds himself into these positions against so many teams. You tell me if they're defenders. Yeah, they have defensive responsibilities, but they're not defenders. The real defenders are the 3 at the back. Rudy, Silva, and Chalobah. They're the proper 3 defenders, and everyone else is just really midfield type of players. So people need to understand exactly what we're doing, and for them to deem that we play boring football, it just means that they're just being salty, to be honest. They're being absolutely salty. They're jealous that we're right on top of the Premier League table, and we're killing it. We're killing it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what your thoughts are. Do we play defensive football? I mean, what do you think when fans say these sort of stuff, I suppose? And let me know your thoughts. If you've enjoyed this video, smash the like button. If you're here for the first time, subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time.